Great things are happening in Pontiac. We spoke with the mayor earlier this week, and now next on the show, let's bring in Damany Head. He is the chair for the Pontiac Regional Chamber. Great to have you with us.
Oh, it's great to have you be here with you guys, and thanks for having me back, and look forward to continuing to work with you guys and share what's happening around the city.
A lot going on in the city of Pontiac. So many things. Where do you want to start? Why don't we go ahead and start with the Phoenix Center? It has been such an issue.
How come you always do that? Every time I come on, you want to talk about something like that. I'm like, oh
let's just get it out of the way. Come on, get it out of the way.
The tough parts
because
first,
then we're going to talk about.
You just had the mayor on a week ago. She should have told you everything you needed to know.
We talked about a lot with the mayor. I will say, to me, I love the Phoenix Center. Like, I went to one of my first country concerts there when it was Arts, Beats, and Eats. I have always felt it has been underutilized because when you have a stadium that's in the middle of your town, it is so unique, but it's also been this big point of contention because some people felt it broke up the city. Lawsuits, this, that, and the other, though, it's behind you. It's behind you. We're looking ahead, Damany. So, what's ahead?
Well, my hope is that, a public-private partnership is ahead. And, there's some really great entertainment businesses in the city. And I hope that, the mayor and the city council would work with those assets like M1 and Crowfoot and Erebus Escape to bring those guys together to bring solutions to, having a successful venture in a public-private partnership.
So with that, because it is the heart of the city, and it kind of is that footprint that can help shape the city, what would you like to see happen there? If you had a crystal ball and a winning lotto ticket, a huge lotto ticket, what would you do with that spot?
I think, what you said, making sure country western music is alive and real. I think that invites people, but there's also, other cultural music opportunities. I think we have Hispanic music, African American music. I would love to see OU, who has a world music event, expand that world music event to include country and, have a series of opportunities where up and coming stars can find their roots in Pontiac.
For me, when I went to the concert there, it was part of Arts, Beats, and Eats. I would love to see Arts, Beats, and Eats come back to the city of Pontiac.
I think there's more ideas out there. I think, we just have to support those entrepreneurs. I mean, I think, I forget the name of the gentleman who started Arts, Beats, and Eats, but, I think he got a lot of support. I talked to Rosemary Gallarda, and she's like, I remember sitting right next to him. She was the previous executive director of the chamber. So, she's like, I can remember when it was nothing. Right. It was just an idea, And so, an idea was born out of someone's brain. And I'm like, let's do that more often. Let's make sure we put the support mechanisms in place to keep building the cultural aspects of Oakland County and making sure that not only Arts, Beats, and Eats thrives, but maybe a world music festival. Maybe, why can't we have a country music festival? I mean, Oakland County is one of the top equestrian destinations in the state. So why not? Why not more country western?
I didn't know that. I will say, I was a little bit selfish in that I felt like Arts, Beats, and Eats, there was more room in the city of Pontiac, whereas in Royal Oak, you're kind of jammed into those little downtown areas, and there's no parking, and then there are neighbors, and this, that, and the other. But with that, great things, though, M1 Concourse, I think, is really going to help reshape Pontiac and put the city back on the map, not here just in the state regionally, but really worldwide as well.
Absolutely. I think, the Zoloff family and their partners are doing a really great job. They brought in, I think, the right experts from California to run their organization. You also have the PTM Transportation Museum. You have PMD, which does fabrication for turning Camaros into Pontiac Firebirds. So you also have the place that sells cars of the vintage nature in downtown Pontiac. So I think there's a lot of assets here. It's going to be, up to us as a community to take those assets and really create a great product for Oakland County and for the world.
So has the pandemic helped you realign your mission and refocus the mission, or has it set you back?
It's actually propelled what we've been waiting for. I think we did a great job in year 1 and 2 and 3 to share that, be ready for this economic transition that's going to happen. Position yourselves well, be ready to be a digitally based business. There's a lot of businesses in Pontiac that were only digitally based, and we got knocked for that, but it was part of the game plan to make sure those digitally based businesses were strong enough to sustain themselves through this pandemic, but also what we call an economic changing. And so we just think this is the on-ramp for us, for all those young people and all the 30-somethings and 20-somethings and the teenagers who have been creating content on YouTube and figuring out how to make soul rolls or how to make black box dinners or cooking barbecue. It's their time. It's their time to show that, hey, I got the chops to build something that can sustain over the next 10, 20 years.
Damany Head with us here on the MegaCast. He's the chairperson for the Pontiac Regional Chamber. And with that, I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the downtown area. I was there a couple weeks ago, though, and I was surprised at the number of empty storefronts. And talking with some people and some of the downtown businesses, one reason they were saying is because so many owners have come in there and let leases expire as they wait to try to find out whether or not they are going to get the green light to open up a medical marijuana dispensary. What is the future in that arena?
We're about to take over. That's the future. We got a lot of partners who are waiting to open their business. Whether it gets done, before the end of the year or not, it was really up to the mayor and the city council. But make no bones about it, the next person who sits in the mayor's seat is going to get that done, and you're going to have just a lot of organizations here that are going to pump money into Pontiac to bring people from Oakland County and surrounding areas into the city to purchase products that they make, whether they be the bud or offshoots, lotions, cookies, whatever. But they're here, and the first rollout of money's is going to be distributed at the state level. So, I think people are going to be quite upset when they realize that Pontiac didn't get their fair share and they had 2 years to get it done.
So with that, when it comes to Pontiac, because I believe the voters approved up to 20 licenses for the city of Pontiac?
They did. And so, there's 5 sectors of the city that really could use some economic development. And, some of these organizations have already come in here and, partnered with nonprofits and made a, contribution to those nonprofits. And, that's been held up. And so, I believe the deal will get done, before the end of the year. And if it doesn't, I know the next mayor who sits in that seat, whether it be Deidre, Mark Holland, Tim Grimel, will be under pressure to get that done. And so, it's really important for the economic development of the city. 1, it creates jobs. 2, it creates traffic. These are all things people have asked for and wanted. So, we're really excited. And, our position is that, we need to have assets in our community that are going to drive further economic development.
I will think it was brilliant how they have broken it up into sectors so that you didn't have everything concentrated in one neighborhood versus another. You can spread it out and spread out that development. But you're a guy with connections and in so many talks. What is the holdup? What's the big deal?
There's a lot on the mayor's plate right now. I can't imagine what it's like to be her. She's definitely still dealing with the measures of austerity that happened due to her emergency financial management. I still think she's in the firestorm methodology. She's just a great firefighter, and part of it is there's lots of fires. What do you do when you got lots of fires? you attend to those fires that have the most pressing need. I mean, a lawsuit with the Stevens family is definitely a pressing need. Not to mention we got thrown into COVID, so there's always, dealing with that. And so as the mayor, and this is going to be true for any mayor, like they're going to have to deal with rebuilding the enterprise called Pontiac, the city of Pontiac, and the municipal government, and making sure that they have all the pieces in place to deal with the fires and put those fires out, and so they can actually start building. So, our role is just to partner with them and support, in the best way we can to enable economic development, which, for us is really taking the time to work with the neighborhood businesses and bringing the neighborhood businesses into relationship with the county and larger businesses like United Wholesale Mortgage. We've been talking with them. We're having our annual event March 31st, which generally draws between 100 and 125 people. And, they're working with us to bring Mateen Cleaves to be the keynote speaker, which is really great. And so, people are always asking, what is the partnership between the city and United Wholesale Mortgage? And I'm like, you have to keep talking to them. You have to find ways to work with them. And, they've done really great things for the school district. I think they donated over $70,000 for books to the city of Pontiac School District. So, I just feel like we got to do more public-private partnerships. We got to support whoever's in office to help them better understand what our best practice is. And, we got to modernize our way of doing business in the city of Pontiac. And my hope is to lead that charge in modernizing that and making sure people get the best, So there's things that we have to deal with that were measures of austerity over the last 50 years that if we don't start dealing with it, we're going to leave it for the next generation to deal with.
And with that United Wholesale Mortgage, they are hiring like crazy right now. We have Amazon that's coming on. There is a lot of focus on some of these bigger companies coming into Pontiac. Yep. But we can't forget about our mom and pop shops during this time as well. And we are in the middle of COVID. But the good news is it looks like we're coming out of COVID. We're on the back end, and some of these businesses are going to start to see increased capacity. How important has the small business world been to the city of Pontiac?
I think it's the backbone, like you can have really great large business, multinational, national businesses, United Wholesale Mortgage, Amazon, Pepsi Cola, General Motors. Pontiac has all of those businesses. I think that at the end of the day, what creates the fabric of the community is really going to be the small business owners, right? The restaurateurs, the clothiers, right? The barber, the baker, the candlestick maker, right? So those people have done a really great job. I mean, you got April's Famous Bakes, which I'd love to send you guys some cookies. So make sure I get your address. She's amazing. Since you guys were talking about sending somebody cookies, I'll send you some.
We'll always take cookies.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we have some really great assets here. You got Avon Donuts, which I think is world class. So, Pontiac has the assets. Now it's just time to organize them, have them work together towards a greater end. And part of that is getting the citizens and the business community to work together to say, hey, what do we want this city to look like? In the conversation I had with United Wholesale Mortgage and M1, it's like, look, the asset's already here. We just got to finish it out, right? So you have a track, you have Ultimate Soccer Arena, you got a golf course, and then you got the Clinton River Trail. I mean, basically that paints a picture for me of what I should put there, right? And so, our hope is to partner with the city and the county to say, hey, we should be looking at the types of economic development that, support these assets.
And so with that good news with the schools, they're coming out of receivership and they're doing so much better than what they were a few years ago there in the city of Pontiac. So if you put that, the housing market right now is on fire, and it's crazy, and it's hard for people to get things in that surrounding area in the suburbs. Is this an opportunity for Pontiac to cash in on that world?
Absolutely. And, the Pontiac Regional Chamber kicked off a community schools effort called Pontiac United Education Coalition in partnership with the Pontiac School District, the charter schools, and the private schools. And so, we spent the last year talking and discussing how can we support a rapid turnaround and partnership and collaboration between everyone. And so we found some common ground. And, I think, when you look at it, the school district on its own can impact economic development in such a big way, right? So whether that's hiring more teachers, whether that's better performance out of the students, or whether that's the impact that it has on the home values, right? So if your community is seen as a place where your child can get educated properly, I think it ultimately changes the value of the home.
One of the issues that's been in the city of Pontiac is just like in the city of Detroit, people don't realize until they move in the increase in insurance that they pay. I know that this has been a huge platform for Mayor Duggan. Have there been any talks there in Pontiac to, alleviate some of those issues to help attract more people coming into the city? Or has it really not been a part of the conversation in Pontiac?
It's been part of my conversation. I've talked to Shannon Strybeck and Margaret Diamond, because one of the greatest costs not only is car insurance but also health insurance. Mm-hmm. And so we're discussing like what are the opportunities that we can have to make it more convenient, more user friendly for people to adopt living in Pontiac. I've expressed to them what New York State is doing around entrepreneurship and allowing people who win a contest to have 10 years of no tax for their community, for their business, and for their employees. And I think that's an important thing that we have to look at is like what incentives are we offering to attract the right type of entrepreneurs into the community. You could also say the same thing for the right type of teachers, right? You could say the same thing for the right type of healthcare professionals. So I think what's critical now is just getting every leader to the table and saying, what do we want Pontiac to be? It's clear we're putting the austerity behind us. How do we put a nail in the coffin of austerity and start a growth cycle for the city?
Well, I think the future is bright within Pontiac, but it's what you just said there. It's really everyone has to come together and get a plan together so that it's cohesive in its issue or in its mission to see it come to fruition, because there are so many great things happening. People just need to understand that Pontiac is there, and it's not the Pontiac that so many people grew up with and they think that they know. And so with that, I'll leave you with this: is if someone hasn't been to Pontiac in a while, where should they go? Who should they visit? Your favorite restaurants?
They definitely should visit Carnival Market on Walton Avenue, or I think it's Walton Avenue or Walton Street. They definitely should take order cookies from April's Famous Bakes. Visit Avon Donuts, and probably we're going to be talking about Restaurant of the Year, so just a sneak peek, you should check out Flavors of Jamaica right on Telegraph. Flavors of Jamaica is an amazing restaurant. They probably have the best vegan meals in the region. So if you're a vegan, it's a great opportunity to check out what they offer for vegans.
That's awesome. Well, it's been so great having you with us. Sorry to set you off on fire with the first question.
No, it's all. I appreciate it. I'm really thankful to be here. I'm really thankful to have the opportunity to participate in what Oakland County's putting together. I'm excited for the future of Dave Coulter, and I look forward to sharing the progress with you guys. Again, March 31st is our annual event. It's our 5th annual Prosperity Pontiac event, and Mateen Cleaves will be doing a keynote speech from United Wholesale Mortgage, and it's for us a great opportunity because our first Prosperity Pontiac had Greg Kelsler from the 1979 championship team. So all we're doing is working to build a championship team here in Pontiac, and so it's great to have Mateen Cleaves from the 2000 Michigan State Spartans championship team to kind of kick that off for the 5th year.
Well, it's great having people like you be such a champion for Pontiac as well. We so appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.